I thought the nightmare was over. I thought Princess Zira had been banished forever, her darkness swallowed by the forbidden forest. But I was wrong. Evil does not die so easily. The village of Samburu tried to move on, but an unease settled in the air. I lay awake that first night, the silence pressing down on me. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying voices that did not belong to the living. Then, the disappearances began again. First, a hunter. Then, a merchant. Then, one of the warriors who had led Zira to exile. Each vanished without a trace, just as the suitors had before. The villagers whispered among themselves, saying her spirit had returned for vengeance. Others believed she had never truly left. I could not ignore it. I had faced Zira once before, and I would face her again. But this time, I would not be deceived. I gathered a group of warriors, men unafraid of death. We armed ourselves with weapons blessed by the village priestess and set out toward the forbidden forest, where no man had dared step foot since Zira's banishment. The deeper we went, the colder it became. The trees stretched unnaturally high, blocking out the sun. Shadows danced around us, twisting and shifting as if alive. Then, we heard it, a voice, sweet and familiar. "Kwame, you came for me." It was her. I turned, and there she stood, Zira, untouched by time, more beautiful than ever. But her beauty was an illusion. Her eyes glowed with something inhuman, her nails long and sharp like a beast's claws. The warriors gripped their weapons, but she only smiled. "Did you miss me, my love?" she purred. I raised my blade. "You are no love of mine." She laughed, a sound that sent chills through my bones. "Oh, Kwame, you are different from the others, but you are still weak. Do you think you can defeat me again?" With a wave of her hand, the shadows moved. Dark figures emerged from the trees, twisted, unnatural beings with hollow eyes. The lost men. The ones who had disappeared. They were no longer human. As the battle raged on, I fought my way towards Zira, dodging and slashing at the creatures she had summoned. When I finally reached her, instead of attacking, she stopped me with a single glance. "Do you even know why I do this, Kwame?" she whispered, her voice carrying both sadness and rage. "Do you think I kill for pleasure?" I hesitated. Her words felt different from her usual taunts. "You have murdered innocent men, Zira. You have brought darkness upon this land. What excuse could you possibly have?" She laughed bitterly. "Excuse? There is no excuse. Only truth. I was cursed, Kwame. Since birth, the gods marked me as a harbinger of doom. Every man who sought my hand only wanted my power, my beauty, my kingdom. They never saw me as a person. They never loved me." Her expression darkened. "So I chose to become what they feared. A monster. If the world would not accept me as I was, then I would become the thing they believed me to be." For a moment, I saw pain in her eyes. Regret. But it was gone just as quickly, replaced by cold determination. "I am beyond saving now, Kwame. I have embraced what I am. And so should you." I reached for my blade. "No, Zira. You were not born a monster. You chose this path. And I will end it." Before I could strike, she stepped back and whispered, "Then let me tell you the truth about my father." I froze. Zira's voice grew softer, but laced with anger. "The king, my father, was not the noble ruler the people believed him to be. Long before I was born, he made a pact with the gods of the underworld. He desired power, power beyond any mortal king. But the gods do not give without taking." She took a shaky breath. "Their prize was his firstborn, me. They cursed me from the moment I entered this world. I would bring death to every man who loved me, and my heart would be shrouded in darkness forever. My father, he knew. He knew and did nothing. He feared me, yes, but he feared losing his throne even more. So he hid the truth, pretending he had a perfect daughter while waiting for me to die. But I didn't die. The curse grew stronger, and I became what the gods intended, a bringer of ruin. She clenched her fists, rage and sorrow mixing in her expression. I do not kill because I wish to, Kwame. I kill because it is my fate. I kill because my father doomed me to this life before I had a chance to choose. A silence fell between us. For the first time, I saw not a monster, but a broken woman, a woman molded by betrayal, by the selfish desires of a man who should have protected her. A woman fighting against a fate she never asked for. I lowered my sword. What if I could help you break the curse? Her eyes widened, flickering with something fragile, hope. But just as quickly, the darkness in them returned. There is no breaking it. I am what I am. I stepped closer. No. The priestess told me about the heartstone. If we find it, we can sever the curse's hold. You can be free, Zera. You don't have to live like this. She looked away, struggling with something deep inside her. I could see the war within her soul, the part of her that wanted to believe, and the part that had given up long ago. Finally, she whispered, if this is a trick, Kwame, I will tear you apart. I took her hand. Then let us find out together. For the first time in her cursed existence, Princess Zera allowed herself to hope. The final battle had begun. We fought with everything we had. This time, she was stronger, her fury unmatched. The warriors fell one by one, their cries swallowed by the wind. I reached the heartstone just as Zera's claw sliced into my chest. Pain seared through me, but I gritted my teeth, gripping the stone. Its light burst forth, blinding and powerful. Zera screamed as the energy consumed her, her form disintegrating into dust. The darkness around us cracked, then shattered. Silence. I collapsed, gasping for breath. The village priestess's words echoed in my mind. Some evils never truly die, but they can be sealed. The war was over. At least, for now. Kwame and Zera's love had transcended the darkness. Through the trials and bloodshed, they had found understanding. As Kwame looked toward the horizon, he vowed that if Zera ever returned, it would not be as an enemy but as the woman he had come to know and love. The wind howled through the ancient baobab trees, their twisted branches clawing at the blood-red sky. In the village of Zamburo, the air was thick with the scent of fear, a lingering rot that no amount of roasted yams or palm wine could mask. Kwame strode through the marketplace, his spear slung across his back, his eyes scanning the crowd. Months had passed since the battle against Princess Zera, the cursed daughter of the fallen king. The villagers had rebuilt their huts, replanted their scorched fields, and buried their dead. Yet the scars remained. Children flinched at sudden shadows. Elders muttered prayers to long-silent gods. And Kwame could not shake the feeling that the darkness had not truly left. He paused at a stall where Adisa, the blind weaver, sold charms of twisted reeds and bone. Her milky eyes seemed to pierce him. You feel it too, don't you, child? She croaked. The earth trembles. The dead are restless. Kwame tightened his grip on his spear. The curse is broken, old mother. Adisa laughed, a sound like dry leaves rustling in the wind. Broken. Or merely sleeping. Before he could reply, a scream tore through the market. The crowd scattered as a figure emerged, a woman draped in a cloak blacker than midnight, her face hidden beneath a hood. The air grew icy. Kwame's breath fogged as he stepped forward, his heart pounding. Zera, he whispered. She lowered her hood, revealing eyes like smoldering coals. Her beauty was unchanged, yet her once proud stance was bowed, as if carrying an invisible weight. Hello, Kwame. The villagers froze. A mother yanked her child close. A hunter reached for his knife. Kwame raised a hand, signaling restraint. You dare return, he growled. After what you did. Zera's gaze flickered to the scars on his chest, marks from their last battle. I did not come to fight, she said. The curse, it isn't gone. It festers in me still. And if it is not purged, it will consume us all. The village priestess, Neka, awaited them in the sacred grove. Her hut, draped in vines and animal skulls, reeked of herbs and old magic. Neka's piercing eyes studied Zera, her lips curling with disdain. You seek redemption, daughter of kings, she said. The spirits do not forgive easily. Zera knelt, her voice trembling. I will pay any price. Neka tossed bones onto a frayed cloth. They clattered into a grim pattern, a skull, a bleeding heart, a broken chain. The curse is bound to your blood, the priestess murmured. To break it, a life must be given freely. A sacrifice. Her bony finger pointed at Kwame. His. Kwame recoiled. You ask me to die for her. Zera surged to her feet. No. There must be another way. Neka silenced her with a glare. The path is set. Journey to the hearthstone, the relic that birthed the curse. There, the spirits will judge you. But know this, many have sought the hearthstone. None have returned. They left at dawn. The jungle swallowed them whole, a green hell of thorns and whispers. Zera moved like a wraith, her cloak snagging on branches. Kwame kept his distance, his spear ever ready. Why did you come back? He demanded as they forded a river choked with pale, bloated flowers. Zera hesitated. When the curse lifted, I felt nothing. No rage, no hunger for power. Just emptiness. I realized I'd spent centuries as my father's puppet. I want to belong to myself again. Kwame scoffed. And if the spirits demand my death? Then we defy them, she said fiercely. The spirits tested them cruelly. In the midst of mirrors, Kwame faced visions of his village burning, his sister's corpse at his feet. You failed them, the spirits hissed. Kwame fell to his knees, tears cutting through the ash on his face. Zera gripped his shoulder. It's not real. Stand, warrior. Her trial came in the river of voices. The water surged with the screams of those she'd slain, farmers, children, a boy who looked like Kwame. Murderer, they wailed. Zera gagged, clawing at her own skin as if to rip the curse out. Kwame hauled her ashore. Breathe. You're more than your past. She stared at him, trembling. Am I? The hearthstone loomed in a cavern of crystal and shadow, its crimson light throbbing like a heart. Zera reached for it. Stop. The spirit of King Jabari materialized, his form flickering between man and monster. You think to undo my masterpiece, girl? You are mine. Zera's tears glinted in the hellish light. I am no one's. Not anymore. Jabari's laughter shook the cavern. You cannot destroy the hearthstone without destroying yourself. The curse is your blood. Kwame stepped forward. Then take mine instead. Zera whirled. No. But Kwame caught his palm, letting blood drip onto the hearthstone. I choose this. For my people. For you. The stone shuddered. Cracks spiderwebbed across its surface. Jabari howled as his spirit unraveled. You defy the gods. Zera gripped Kwame's hand, their blood mingling. We are the gods now. The hearthstone exploded. In the wake of their victory, Zera's beauty flourished. No longer shadowed by darkness, her eyes shone with a radiant fire, her once pale skin now warm with life. The village saw her not as a cursed princess, but as a warrior reborn. Months later, under the silver glow of a full moon, Kwame and Zera stood before the sacred baobab tree, hands entwined. The village gathered, bearing witness as Neka blessed their union. From war to love, from darkness to light. May your spirits walk as one. Kwame kissed his bride, and the people of Samburu roared in celebration. That night, the village was alive with music, and Zera, now queen, danced under the stars, free at last. Years later, Samburu thrived. Zera's name was sung in lullabies, her story a testament to redemption. On a hill overlooking the village, Kwame lay beside her, their fingers entwined. Do you ever miss the quiet? He asked. Zera grinned. Quiet is overrated. And as the sun set, gilding the savannah in gold, the once cursed princess finally knew peace.